What's good, guys? CoolGrayAJ here with Team Evil Geniuses. MLG's finally done, and I finally caught up with EG.fLoE. Flo, can you tell us a little bit about what happened with you this weekend, how your MLG experience was like?
It's my first MLG, first time playing these fighting games in a competitive setting, really. I don't really play these particular fighting games, but it was a cool experience. I've never been to one of these, never been to an esports event like this. So it was definitely interesting and a fun experience.
Yeah. Well, seeing as Justin was at the previous MLG and you're here at this MLG this time around, was there anything was there any advice that he gave you, like any kind of pointers, as far as mentality goes? Because I mean, he's in the same kind of position as you are. He doesn't really play any of the MLG titles, but he's got some familiarity with it. So was there anything that he told you to kind of help you along with it?
Like he told me about the event and stuff, but there's not much he can really tell me about these fighting games, because like you said, he doesn't really play either. But it was like he told me it was a big thing, it was a crazy event, and it definitely was. It definitely lived up to what he said it was.
Well, I mean, kind of going along the lines of MLG being a real big event, you're an old school cat, and I remember seeing you for the first time at B5 several years ago.
Yeah.
So compare that kind of experience to what you've been doing here at MLG this weekend.
Well, B5 was like 64-person major, like the biggest tournament with 64 people. This had like thousands of people just in the crowd, and it's crazy what everything's come to now, 10 years later, like it's really cool to see it like this, and I hope that the titles that I do play and other EG players, other EG fighting game players play, can come to this type of setting also. That would be cool to see.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's kind of like this taboo kind of thing. You can't really talk about it, But I mean, in a scenario where this is pretty much it, and MLG just decides to stick with these fighters, I mean, they've been running real strong with it. I mean, comparatively speaking, they're running real strong with it. It's getting a lot of support. Not as much as you might expect from an event like MLG, but do you think it'll get there for them?
I'm not sure it will ever hit the numbers that like an AE tournament or something would, but I think if like AE or say something like that was in MLG, that it would eventually hit those numbers. I think at first people would be wary about it because they have these precautions about MLG, whatever, but they really need to get over that and see what MLG has become. And I think it would turn something great if that happened.
I definitely agree with that. As far as you taking everything in, was there anything that you wished was at MLG besides having other fighters?
Pretty much just the fighters. Different titles, yeah.
Would you say that just having the fighters being there, it's like if you build it, they'll come kind of thing?
Yeah, like, I mean, right now, if you look at the fighting side of MLG, it's like kind of small, we're kind of in the corner, But I think that's more because that's the crowd that's generating right now. It's not generating a StarCraft crowd with thousands of people in the audience. It's generating 30-person audience, because it's titles that aren't that mainstreamly popular, But if that was AE, it would have crowds like that. It would have these gigantic crowds, and it would become what StarCraft is, I think it just needs that push.
Okay. Last thing I really wanted to ask you was, you've been playing tournaments forever. How would you say on a TO kind of standpoint, how would you say the organization was like playing in an event like MLG? Because I mean, I've been there before, like playing local tournaments, and you have people not showing up, TOs not showing up. I mean, I can't really name any names or anything like that. But how is that kind of experience with you? I mean, how was the whole tournament structured for you?
That was actually one of the things I was most impressed with MLG, is like, things were very structured. In a normal fighting game tournament, you'd expect to start an hour too late, 3 hours, there's been 6 hours. There was an ECC that lasted 24 hours, literally 24 hours. So that was really cool to see, and like the fact that they would apologize if like a match started 5 minutes late, that was crazy for the player. So it was really cool to see that structure, but there were also some things that were lacking, like KOF on the first day would like have a match with a 30-minute break, have a match 30-minute break. You can't really have that and have the same type of hype that a normal fighting game tournament has. But the way things were structured and the way everything was on time was kind of reminiscent of like a UFGT or something, because Keith runs a very strict tournament, this is starting now, this is starting now, and that's a good thing to have. It was interesting to see that MLG also.
Do you think that, I mean, you kind of brought it up, having a match and wait 30 minutes and have another match, do you think that kind of hurts the viewership? Do you think that kind of hurts the flow of the tournament? Because I mean, in a StarCraft match, it's understandable because there's a lot of setup going on. But in a fighting games tournament, it's like you're playing around, you finish a match, you can just go right in.
Yeah. For like a 5-minute match to have a 30-minute break, the fact that breaks are longer than the matches, that's a problem. It definitely kills the hype because people want matches, because it builds up hype, builds up, oh my god, this is next, this is going to be crazy. But you can't do, oh, this is next in half an hour. Like, it doesn't have the same hype. For a StarCraft match, you're sitting there watching a match for an hour or two. But for fighting games, it's 5 to 10 minutes.
It's shorter.
Yeah, you can't.
Marvel.
Yeah, you can't run it the same type of way.
Cool. All right, well, Flo, thank you so much. I'm glad you had a great time at MLG too. And that's really all I got.